Hi everyone, it's Christina from the DIYmommy.com, and today I want to talk about the differences between the Cricut Maker, the Cricut Explore Air 2, the Cricut Joy, and which machine might be best for you. If you followed my channel for any period of time, you know that I use my Cricut machines often to make things in my home like labels, like gifts, like clothing. They are the ultimate crafter's tool. I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring this video today. And one of the questions I get asked the most about Cricut is, which Cricut should I buy? Today I want to talk about the differences between all of the machines currently on the market, plus who I think would be best to purchase each machine. Now watch this video through, and after it's done, comment down below and tell me which of these machines you think would suit your lifestyle the best and why. I would love to see everybody's answers. All right, let's get started. I'll leave a link to the full video down in the description box below, but I recently did a video all about exactly what a Cricut does and how to use it. Essentially, a Cricut is a cutting machine, and it can cut all kinds of materials from cardstock to vinyl to iron-on, and one of the machines can even cut thin woods and more delicate materials like crepe paper and fabric. So make sure to check out the video where I explain all of that, plus I have a blog post on it if you want to pin that and save it for later. Even though these can look intimidating, I promise you, once you get going, they're quite easy to use. Cricut has a software called Cricut Design Space, and it essentially does the work for you. There are lots of pre-made designs and images that you can get on Cricut Design Space either for free or with a Cricut Access subscription. You can also make your own designs and import them right into the software as well. I also find it really easy to change the different blades in each of these machines, plus use all sorts of different materials. Now let's talk about which of these machines might be best for you. This one here is called the Cricut Maker. The Maker is the ultimate smart cutting machine. So this guy can cut over 300 different materials. So it cuts everything the other machines cut, which is vinyl, cardstock, iron-on material, plus it can cut thicker materials like thin woods and chipboard, and more delicate materials like crepe paper and fabric. You can also use over 12 tools with the Maker. So there's the regular fine point blade, plus it has a fabric rotary cutting tool, and it has a debosser, a scoring tool, and all sorts of different tools that you can get pro level effects. I find the Cricut Maker to be super easy to set up. You can basically plug in and play. You can download Cricut Design Space onto your mobile device, which honestly is what I use the most now, or you can download it right onto your desktop, and it's going to walk you through how to set up a design. And I'm considering even doing a separate video on how I use Design Space. Comment below if you'd like to see that. So who should buy the Maker? I think you should buy the Maker if you want pro level performance plus versatility and the option of not only cutting vinyl, iron-on fabric, and cardstock, but you want to venture into cutting fabric, thin wood, and more delicate material like crepe paper. This is the machine for you. It can cut a more wide range of materials. It is Cricut's most expensive machine, but the variety of tools and materials it can cut reflects that price. So some of the projects that I have made with my Cricut Maker are a DIY face mask using the rotary cutting tool to cut fabric, crepe paper peonies using the rotary cutting tool to cut crepe paper, bunny ear napkin rings using the rotary cutting tool to cut felt, as well as a 3D farmhouse sign using the knife blade to cut chipboard, and finally baby slippers using the rotary cutting tool to cut faux leather. If you think the Maker is right for you, I'm going to leave a link down in the description box below where you can go ahead and purchase it. Now let's talk about the Cricut Explore Air 2, which is this machine right here. And I personally love this wild rose color. It comes in a whole variety of adorable colors. This is currently Cricut's most popular machine, and it's going to cut most of the materials that you are going to want to cut with a Cricut. You can cut vinyl, paper, cardstock, and even some of the thinner chipboards with this guy. So you can cut over 100 materials, and you can use 4 tools for cutting, writing, and scoring. So it's about a third of the materials and tools as the Maker has. Again, I find it quite easy to set up. You can configure it with Cricut Design Space, download designs, make up your own, and get going. Who should buy the Cricut Explore Air 2? I would recommend this machine to anyone who wants to cut a wide variety of materials, but doesn't want to venture into the more delicate or thicker materials that the Cricut Maker can cut. This one, the Cricut Explore Air 2, is the machine that I most recommend to people when they DM me on Instagram or email me, because I feel like this is the one that's going to get the job done. It seems to me that most people want to get a Cricut to cut out cute little labels, vinyl designs, or make t-shirts, and this one's going to do that job for you, and it's not quite as expensive as the Maker. Some projects that I've made with the Cricut Explore Air 2 are a paper flower wreath using the fine point blade to cut cardstock, personalized Christmas Eve box using the fine point blade to cut vinyl, cardstock, and iron-on material, labels using the fine point blade to cut vinyl, a Dreamer t-shirt using the fine point blade to cut iron-on material, and finally a watercolor mixer decal. And I used the print then cut feature. You can actually print designs onto some paper, and then you can use Cricut Design Space to trace that and cut that out right onto either of these two machines. Very cool feature. If you think this one's right for you, I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description box below. Finally, let's talk about this little guy, and this is Cricut's newest machine. It is called the Cricut Joy. This is obviously a more compact machine, and it is a lot easier to transport and store than either of these two machines. This guy can only cut material up to 5.5 inches wide, whereas these ones can cut material up to 11.5 inches wide. However, you can buy very long rolls of vinyl for this one, up to 20 feet, so you could cut really long decals with this guy. And hold up, I have to say this every time I say decal. I say decal. I know lots of you say decal. It is a Canadian thing or a Western Canadian thing. Still haven't quite figured that out. The Joy cuts over 50 different materials, and it has 2 tools for cutting and writing. By the way, any of these machines you can put a fine tip pen in, Cricut's fine tip pen, and you can write on things as well, which I think is a really great feature. This one is also super easy to set up. Again, connect it with Cricut Design Space, either the mobile app or the desktop app, and you can get going. Here are some examples of things that I've made with the Cricut Joy. I've made some container labels using the fine point blade cut vinyl. I've made farmhouse inspired tea towels using the fine point blade to cut iron-on material. I've made spice jar labels using the point pens to draw the labels and the fine point blade to cut them. I also made a 24-inch long decal for one of my friend's signs she was making, and I've also made some easy cards with this as well. There's a really cool mat that has different layers that you can put cards in and cut designs on it, and it looks fantastic. Who should buy the Joy? I'd recommend this machine if you are into quick, easy projects that you want to get done in 15 minutes or less. Plus, I'd also recommend this machine if you want a smaller machine that you can move around easily and store easily as well. This is a great machine if you want to cut smaller labels, if you want to cut smaller iron-on designs, and just quick and easy, simple projects. If you think this one's right for you, I will leave a link for this one also down in that description box below. Let's talk about my personal favorite machine. My favorite is the Cricut Maker, because not only do I like to work with the vinyl, iron-on, and cardstock, I think those are so much fun, I also like to work a lot with fabric. I'm a huge textile lover, and wood. So this one can cut those items, and that's why if I was to choose any of these 3 to keep, it would be absolutely the Cricut Maker. But which Cricut machine do I think is overall generally the best for anyone? That would be the Cricut Explore Air 2, because like I mentioned earlier, this one does most of what everyone is looking for when they purchase a Cricut. Lots of people want to make t-shirts. Lots of people want to make labels for home organization or little mugs, gifts. This one will do mostly everything that you need it to do. Plus, this one is generally more affordable than the Maker. It's a little bit easier of an investment for your craft supply. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope all of this information helped you decide which of these machines is the best for you. Thanks again to Cricut for sponsoring this video and helping spark my creativity. Again, check out all the links to all the resources and machines I mentioned down in that description box below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And again, let me know down in those comments below which of these machines you personally would get for yourself, or which one that you have already. I'm gonna leave some more videos that I hope you will love right up here.